Hi friends! Today let's talk about beginner fountain pens. I get asked for beginner recommendations all the time, and sure, I have some favorites. But here's the thing, is there really such a thing as a beginner fountain pen? Let's dig into that, and later I'll share some of my favorite pens you might want to try. When you think about it, nobody talks about beginner ballpoints or beginner gel pens. You just pick one up and use it. So why do we keep calling certain fountain pens beginner pens? At their core, most fountain pens work the same way. Ink travels down the feed, through the nib, and onto the page. A fine nib writes like a fine nib, whether it costs $5 or $500. Of course, there are differences. Smoother nibs, better materials, and more consistent flow. But those don't make one pen beginner and the other advanced. So why does the label exist? Well, fountain pens do feel different if you're used to ballpoints or gel pens. They need a lighter touch, the ink flows more freely, and that can take some getting used to. So when people say beginner pen, what they usually mean is affordable, reliable, easy to maintain, and not too heartbreaking if something goes wrong. But here's the truth. There's no such thing as a real beginner pen. They are just pens that are more accessible. That's why I like to think in terms of tiers instead. Entry-level pens are affordable, reliable, easy to maintain. Mid-level pens are still accessible but with nicer materials, more consistent nibs, and sometimes special filling systems. Premium or luxury pens are usually above $150, often with gold nibs, artisanal finishes, or collector value. In this video, I'm giving my entry to mid-level pen recommendations. Honestly, most of my collection lives in this range. I only own one fancy pen, which I bought as a birthday treat to myself. There are a few factors I considered for these recommendations. The price point, they need to be relatively affordable for fountain pens, all below $60. Reliability, does it write smoothly and consistently without fuzz? Aesthetics, because we all want a pen that feels good to look at and hold. And my bonus test, if I lost it, would I cry? Would losing this pen ruin my day, or would I just sigh and grab another? Before I get into recommendations, quick note. I'm based in Thailand, so I'll give prices in Thai baht, but I'll also convert them to US dollars and euros and put them on the screen for reference. Now here are some pens I love recommending. The Pilot Kakuno is one of the most well-loved entry-level pens. It costs around 350 baht, with special editions like the Kakuno Madarome at around 450. It's smooth, reliable, and has that cute smiley face on the nib that tells you if you're writing with a proper grip and posture. The only downside is occasional hard starts after a few unused days, due to the safety vented cap. It looks okay, sort of like a kid's pen, not super cheap looking, but not exactly a professional looking pen. If I accidentally lost this pen, I'd probably be a bit sad. Then just get another one. Now, if you want a more professional looking alternative, I recommend the Pilot Cocoon or Pilot Metropolitan. The name varies depending on where you're located, but they're essentially the same. This has the same nib, but with a sleek-looking metal body that has a bit more weight to it. It also doesn't have a sealing problem that I get with the Kakuno, so I've never had an issue with hard starts with this pen. This costs around 930 baht, and I would be quite sad if I lost this pen. The Platinum Preppy is possibly the most affordable, reliable fountain pen at about 150 baht. It may look inexpensive, but the performance is incredible. Thanks to Platinum's slip and seal mechanism, it can sit unused for months without drying out. Honestly, if I lost this pen, I really wouldn't think much of it and just get a new one. If you want a sleeker version, there's the Platinum Prefounte, which has the same internals but a nicer look. The Muji Polycarbonate fountain pen is my personal favorite at this tier. It's a Platinum x Muji collaboration that uses the same internals as the Preppy with the Muji-style minimalist design. It's priced around 250 baht, and it also has the slip and seal mechanism in the cap. I'd be quite mad if I lost this one because even though it's a pretty cheap pen, it's not so easy to find. Next is the Lamy Safari. This is a design icon, sturdy, reliable, and with swappable nibs. It's available in tons of colors and typically costs around 800 to 1,100 baht, depending on the color or edition. Some people love the look, others don't, but it's undeniably one of the most popular pens worldwide. There's also the Lamy Al-star if you want the same design in aluminum for a slightly more premium feel. It would ruin my day if I lost any of these. While they're not fancy by any means, they're not exactly cheap either. And some of these are special editions that I might not be able to replace. No entry-level list is complete without the TWSBI Eco. It's an affordable piston filler priced at around 1,200 to 2,000 baht, depending on the edition. It has a huge ink capacity, writes smoothly, and lets you experience filling systems beyond cartridges and converters. Plus, it's fun to see the ink sloshing inside. I would cry if I lost any of these, mainly because they're not super cheap, and they're my favorite pens that I reach for the most in my collection. This serpentine with bronze one was also a birthday gift given to me by my brother and my sister-in-law, so it also has sentimental value to me. All of these pens balance affordability, reliability, and style differently. None of them is just for beginners. They're great for newcomers, but they're also pens that even longtime fountain pen users keep coming back to. So to wrap up, there's no such thing as a true beginner fountain pen. There are just pens at different levels of accessibility and preference. The best pen to start with is simply the one that excites you enough to pick it up and start writing. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching me nerd out about fountain pens. If you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. That's all for today. Bye!